Right, let's do a 6-month update on the little red Sea MAX Nano. So as the title says, we've been running the system now for 6 months and it's had its ups and its downs. It's taken a little while to get this one up and running really. Every tank, marine tank or reef system is different. I've been keeping marine systems and reef tanks for what, over 20 odd years now, and every single one is different. You know, you apply all your knowledge the best you can, but they always pan out slightly different, and some are easier than others. But this one, it's taken a while to get off the ground really, to start looking sort of what I call good and thriving and settled. I think it's just solely because of the size of it. It's only a 75 litre nano system, what with rock and sand and whatnot, a media inside. We've got probably 65 odd litres I've calculated total system volume. So yeah, it's been a bit of a challenge, mainly keeping the water parameters stable, and as you all know, that's the most important thing about keeping a reef tank, is keeping your parameters really stable, mainly alkalinity. So until I had the dosing system on, it was really hard with manually dosing to try and keep it stable. So we kept back from putting any corals in, as my intentions with this tank was to do full out SPS corals, which really don't take well to swings in alkalinity. So you know, I had to get a dosing system on to keep the calcium alkalinity very stable. And now we've got the dosing system up and running and rigged up. We've got everything. It's still taken a while to get everything stable, and the tank is consuming quite a bit, surprisingly. But all my tanks seem to. I have not a lot of luck sometimes with, you know, they always seem to consume a lot of alkalinity and calcium from the get-go really, once you start putting SPS corals in. And this time is the first time I've been using the Red Sea Reef Foundation liquid formulas as opposed to the powders. On my Reefer 250, my really successful Reefer 250 system, I was mixing up the solutions myself with the powders, and I had that dialed in really well, and you know, it was so stable. That's why it's so successful. With this one, like I say, I'm using the liquids, and it's been a little bit harder because I'm not quite so used to, because obviously the strength is different from the liquid to the powders. But well, I think we're near enough there. We've got an alkalinity of 9.3-ish, stable-ish, around that at the moment. And so, yeah, it's taken a while. I am going to switch over to the powders because I just do know how to get the powders dialed in and the ratios just right. So I'm going to switch over to them, and it's consuming so much. You know, it's quite an expensive way of doing it. You know, this tank is consuming so much that, you know, using the liquid form is a bit silly really. Yeah, so once that's out, we're going to switch over to the powders. Hopefully we can get it even more stable. So yeah, lighting wise, I haven't switched the lighting out for Kessel, which is what I plan to do. The system is complete now. All the equipment that I wanted to get for it is on and running. So we've got we've added another wave pump, another Tunzi 60/40 wave pump. I'll get the camera off the tripod in a minute to show you everything. But yeah, so we're complete. We haven't changed out for a Kessel. I thought I'd persevere with this AI Prime HD unit that comes with the system. Because I'm not very used to Aqua Illumination's lighting and the app interface, it's been a bit tricky really sort of setting it up and getting used to what channels to have on what levels. And you know, it's all about what you see to the eye, and it's always been looking a bit too much blue. But now there's corals going in, the blue does look quite good, but you know, the corals pop. But I've been messing about with schedules and using other people's schedules, and I've ended up doing my own schedule now, which I'm really happy with, which I share in a later video. So I'm just trialing this last. I've just tweaked it again with more whites, and yeah, I'm quite happy with it now. And hopefully this is going to come out quite well on film as well, because usually when you're running real deep blues, or you know, the spectrum where there's a lot of blue channels, not so much white, although the corals look good to naked eye popping, they don't on camera. So I did purchase one of these filters for the camera, and I'm trying it out. It doesn't work very well with the whites on, so I'm still trying that. So perhaps maybe in the next video I might give you a good update with using the filter into blues and stuff, but there's more corals in there as well. The reason being is it doesn't look great, is there's not much corals there's not many corals in there, and they're obviously all coral frags. So you know, tanks never look good until they're packed and everything's all growing up real high. Yeah, so all in all, going okay. I've had a few issues recently. So if you've been following the series, I've shared with you sort of the ups and downs so far. Recently, a big downside was that I come down in the morning, and your worst nightmare if you keep a reef tank is came down to the kitchen and looked through, water level was down, return pump had stopped in the middle of the night. And luckily it only stopped a couple of hours before I got up, and so we had to sort that out. That's the second time that's happened actually. We've had problems with the return pump, and I know why it is. The alkalinity, the Reef Foundation by Red Sea, the alkalinity in liquid form is very, very concentrated. And when it doses it in, I just dose 1 ml every hour. When it doses it in, it goes on it's dosed in the last chamber. It's the only place I can dose it, really. That's where the dose rack is. It goes down straight into the pump, and it's real sort of concentrated solution, and it's kind of, calcium carbonate's building up on the pump. So every sort of 5-6 weeks, it's getting so encrusted in there that it jams the pump up. I'm hoping that moving over to powders will rectify that issue with that. I've also had an issue with, it's very tight in the rear sump, the filtration. I do really like the setup, although it's a very small and tight space to fit everything in. It's got a huge skimmer that comes stock with the system, and to fit all your biohome underneath, it is a tight squeeze, and it's a tight squeeze you can hand into sort of take return pump out and do anything in there. And whilst working in there a few weeks back, where the return nozzle housing sits, it's siliconed, factory siliconed into the glass. There's a circle cut in the glass where it sits and mounts in there. As we're working in there, so obviously I've been pushing it, and it's popped out. Its silicon's popped out. It was really hard to get back in again, to the point where I had to take it completely out, strip all the factory silicone on, and re-silicone the housing back into the glass for the return nozzle. So be careful of that when you're working on these little Max Nanos. When you've got larger sort of hands and you're working down it, be careful of that return nozzle housing, that you don't pop it through the glass. So I think that's just a little bit unlucky with it, but yeah, so I would imagine with most of them, if you're not careful, the same will happen. So yeah, let's get the camera off the tripod so we can zoom in some of the corals. We've added a few more SPS corals in. We haven't gone mad yet, so this system's taken a while to sort of get to the stage where I want it. By now I would have hoped to have had all packed, all the frags where I want them, and them to have really good growth. But so we're a little bit behind on it solely because it's been hard to keep this little thing stable. So yeah, let's get the camera off the tripod and give you a little show around. So we have had growth, considering our outswing problems and stuff. We're still getting growth on stuff, even though it's not been that stable. So we'll start with the purple stylo at the top, and we've definitely had growth on that. There's the 4 branches. The rear on the left is split into 2 now, and the other 3 are definitely starting to split and tee off into new branches. Now on the back wall, you should notice, you're probably thinking, "Crod, that GSP's grown." It's not the original GSP. I've ended up switching that out for this new, quite a large colony of GSP. Took me a while to find exactly the one I wanted. And this one I eventually found. So that's we've got a head start now with that. It's quite a large piece. That's going to look really awesome when it's covering the whole back wall. So the barley slimer is doing good. It's slowly though. We've got these 2 new sprouts erupting from the back. So I'll zoom in a little bit more. So that's doing okay. Pulse coral. Gone mad as usual. Post coral grows very quick. This is the main colony. Started off with about, I don't know, 10-15 heads, and I've actually fragged it off into another colony here and another colony over in this corner. So my clowns seem to like either this corner or the other corner, and no doubt once these two little frags get bigger, they'll be nestling in there. But we are obviously going to be selling some of this pulse coral off as well as it grows. That was the plan as well, as with the GSP. Other corals are the pink hystrix is doing fantastic, especially being really low in the tank here. The par level's obviously lower down here, but you know it's growing really well. Good colour. Focus. Yeah, it's doing fantastic. One of my favourite SPS corals, that pink hystrix. And the other hystrix is this limeberry hystrix. As you can see, has completely bleached out. Weird, because it's in the same position, same height in the tank as the other hystrix. Just goes to prove one, although it's the same species, but one, you know, same. You'd think they'd fare exactly the same, but no, one's bleached completely out. But we haven't lost hope with it. I have had corals do this before and completely bounce back. As you can see, we've still got polyps sort of coloured up underneath, so we'll see. It'll be interesting. We have added another piece of hystrix just above it, a green hystrix. And we've also added quite a large frag or small colony here of Montipora digitata, the red Xander blues. It looks much more red than this, pops really nicely. So that's a really healthy colony, that. And no doubt we'll get some good growth over the next month or two with this as it starts sprouting out new tips. It's already starting already, actually. So that's the corals. Fish wise, clowns doing fine. They're definitely paired, and they keep displaying weird behaviour, like breeding behaviour. And they start on this corner here, cleaning the rock, biting the rock and cleaning the rock, obviously to lay eggs. Same with the back wall. This seems to be their little layer at the moment. They're loving it. And the azure damsel or Kupang damsel is been a bit of a git, really, because I've said in previous videos he's a bit dominant this whole scape. Say if the cleaner shrimp comes out, he does sort of keep nudging him and stuff, that he doesn't want him sort of out and about, but I'm just monitoring it really. I have tried to get him out. I bought a trap, the Aquamedic fish trap. Had it in there for about 4 or 5 days or so. No joy at all. Well, annoyingly, he did go in there. I pulled the string, and the trap lid wouldn't come down. It was wedged. But since then, he'd been in there. It's just really hard. I knew from day one if I ever put, I'd never get anything out of this tank. There's no way I'm just taking this rock scape down or taking a rock out to get one damsel out. Clean-up crew's all doing well. We've got a Mexican turbo snail here. I don't know whereabouts he is. I can't find him. He's probably underneath the rock somewhere. Doing a massively good job at keeping any algae down in the system. The nutrients are very low, but same with this conch. Brilliant clean-up crew, constantly eating off the rocks and sand. We've got a little blue-head hermit crab in here. A couple of normal turbos, and the cleaner shrimp, where's he? Around this side underneath here, doing great. Shits his skin a lot. He's growing well. So yeah, all in all going okay. It's just the tank doesn't look great at the moment because it's just tiny coral frags, but when it's all grown out it'll look good. Obviously the next stage is to buy more corals. We'll go sort of try my hand at some acros. As long as the parameters are stable, we can put some try some macros that we've not had before. So it's made a big difference to these 2 wave pumps in here. Now we've got some nice chaotic flow within the system. There's the 2 controllers, all my controllers are mounted at the back here. 2 wave pumps, the return pump controller, and obviously the D&D temperature controller coupled up to a 100-watt titanium heat bar. Absolutely bulletproof. Set and forget. Use these on all my tanks. So it's, yeah, for the sort of 90-100 pounds it is for the heat bar and this controller, well worth the money. The stock Skimmer, brilliant piece of kit. Absolutely, really impressed with it. Yeah, I mean, look at this skim. It's constant, really nice, thick foam. Really impressed with the Skimmer. Didn't have much hope it's going to be any good, to be honest. I was planning to sort of switch it out for a Tunsy one or something, 9001 DC, but no, definitely sticking with this. Is fantastic. Unless anyone questions me about the height, what height do you have the Skimmer outlet? I just have it in line with the top of the Skimmer there. The little gate I have in line, level, which is, I find, the perfect height for it. And running the level in the tank. This is, I've actually removed the plastic strip that hides the rear sump, so I can actually see what's going on in there. It's my Biohome Ultimate Marine, 1.5 kilograms of it, all underneath the Skimmer. So yeah, water level wise, you can see the water level I'm running. It's just below this filter sock tray. I find that's the perfect height, so you know, the sock doesn't keep sort of rising out of its housing. You know, the weight of the water sort of pulls it down in nicely. Obviously we've got a Tunsy ATO system. There's the float valve there in the last chamber. Dose manifold, calcium, alkalinity, magnesium, and that's the RO top up from the reservoir inside the cabinet, which I'll show you in a minute. Just running a bag of Red Sea's Reef Spec Carbon and a bag of Rafos. This is underneath. So this is the TMC Reef doser, 3-channel doser, alkalinity, calcium and magnesium. Having said that, I've not dosed magnesium once on this system yet, weirdly. I do 30% water change every week, so maybe that's just keeping them levels up. So that's my ATO reservoir, lasts about a month. There's the 3 chambers of solutions. Coral colours ABCD. I don't really have any regimen, regular dosing of that. I just do it as and when I think, just to top the levels up, boost them up a bit. I do quite heavy water changes, so my trace elements should be replenished quite well with that, and no water changes. There's all my plug sockets all labelled up. So yeah, all in all, going okay. I'm going to stop rambling on now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Obviously, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe. Also check my son's channel out, Corey Willard, on YouTube. He's got a nano tank as well, which in the next video I'm going to show you, actually, because that is doing really, really well. Just goes to prove that every tank is so different. His is, yes, it's taking off. I'm not going to say too much. I'm going to show you that on the next video. So look at his channel if you want to. Before, it's Corey Willard. And I'm also going to be doing a costing video with everything I've spent to get this system where it is now. Obviously minus livestock. I just list all the equipment, everything, all the costing of everything, and that'll be the next one to do. So thanks for watching. See, hit that like button, all helps out. I'll catch you in the next one.